Okay, I think it's recording. Welcome everyone. I'm here with Susan Hughes today from Ireland, and she is a lovely medium and a lovely, bubbly person. Met her some years ago already, I think.
It's some years ago, yeah.
Yeah, back here in Germany when she did a weekend full of demonstrations and readings with Jason and her mentorship group at the time. And also I met her in Ireland, where we did the same thing, but then in Ireland, and we had a
Yes.
beautiful, lovely, wonderful weekend. So
I
welcome,
was the
Susan. I'm really happy that you're willing to join me for
Yeah,
this little
most
talk.
welcome.
Um, yeah, so what I usually ask first to all my guests is what brought you on this spiritual path, or in your case, the mediumship path?
Yeah, well, although I'm a medium, I've trained in everything to, I suppose, discover where I want my skills to be placed. So I think Mavis said many, many years ago, this was when you stand up in a class and you say what you've done, and she goes, Mavis said, "Oh, jack of all trades." And I went, no, I'm not jack of all trades. I think the road of discovery has to occur. But mine started back in my teens when I was about 17, 18, and I started questioning, is this all it is? There has to be more. And because I was going through some seriously difficult times, and I had done, childhood wasn't brilliant, teens was even worse. This can't be it. So I would go to I was a Catholic at that point, and I'd go to the church and I'd sit and I'd try and pick up something, just tell me, begging for this signal. And I used to get annoyed when I actually attended mass, which is what the Catholics do, because
Yeah.
I was going, people are listening to this, that's not true, so somewhere in my soul was saying I need to start looking at something. So anyway, life taking place.
Mm-hmm.
I taught myself, let me backtrack. I taught myself how to read playing cards. I would get books from the library, a lot of books about psychology, a lot of books, because I needed to know why these humans were doing this stuff that they
Mm-hmm.
know they shouldn't, and how come they didn't see that when they did that's going to happen. But of course that was my psychic and my soul reaching out and checking this out. So that research started for me then. And then, of course, in years later, I got married, had more kids. And then in my mid 30s, I started the research proper again.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I was always reading books. I used to love those near-death experiences. I
Yeah.
wanted to know, what is it like after this body?
Mm-hmm.
So they used to fascinate, still do, by the way. And so I started official training then, I suppose, with my spirituality. And it is there I discovered I was a medium, even though obviously my spirit people, my spirit guides knew that I was, because this would be going. I was a psychic and I still am, work psychically. I love my psychic work. And so that's where this road of discovery has taken. So officially, I suppose I've been training about 20 years.
Mm.
And I'm going to be the forever student, because every time, and you know this because you are also studying, every time we know something, we discover how much we don't know.
Exactly.
You see, so and so I'm obviously a teacher now. I was trained as a teacher over the years, and being a spiritualist now, all your accreditations need to be rubber stamped. So you need to continue with your exams and your training and all of that.
Yeah.
So that is it. Now, let me just pop back a minute. And I want to tell you something that happened to me when I was about 14 or 15. And back in those days, and many, many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
mobile phones didn't exist.
Many
They
years
were all,
ago.
yeah, they were all landlines attached to the house by
Mm-hmm.
wires. So you weren't vocally around them. But in those days, the lines would sometimes go down, or you would get cross lines and something happening in the exchange. And the devastation for a teenager. You had to phone up people and chat for hours. But anyway, devastation. But the phone rang, even though it was out of service and it wasn't due to be fixed for a couple of days. So the phone rang and I picked it up and it was all crackly. And I could hear a child in the background saying, help me, help me, help me. And I was going, who are you? Where are you? And I put the phone down again. And it rang again and again, the same thing. So, I mean, I'm quickening this story. It was kind of over approach. So this was happening. This phone was supposedly dead and it was ringing. And so I ran out my front door to go up to my friends who lived a few doors up at the top of the road to use her phone to phone the exchange to say there's a child in need. So I ran out my front door, got to the bottom of the garden, and a shooting star exploded in the sky, right as I got there. So I start saying my prayers. I ran up that road saying, Holy Mary, Mother, for this child. So I got up, got to my friend, and phoned the exchange, and God love him, he was very kind to me. He didn't say, get off the woman, get off the phone, you're mad. But I was, I suppose, a mid-teen, a child myself. And I said, there's a child in danger. She's phoning and saying, help me. And he said, that phone is dead. There has no connections coming in or coming out of it. And I said, check for a cross line. It must be in somebody's house. And he says, no, that phone is completely dead. So that was always in the back of my mind. So I feel that was the answered a few questions, but scared the bejeepers out of me. But it was always present. So I also know that.
Did you ever find out who that child was, or
there is no child?
It must have been from spirit, obviously.
It wasn't an earthly experience.
No, so it was like a sign, really.
It was a sign.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Scary. I can. Well,
it certainly was.
If you're that young, you know.
But I just never forget the sky, and it was a clear sky that night. And it was like it just lit up with this shooting star. And I know it was a shooting. It cannot be scientifically explained, except phone call cannot be, because he said that line is dead. No calls have come in or out in the last couple of days. So I've trained as a healer as well. And every time I go to see someone, oh, you're a healer. And I'm terrible. I go, oh, yeah, you know, but it's so important. But I have chosen not to say I'm a healer. It needs to be encompassed by everything we do. So but it's good to have the knowledge. And I've also trained in trance. But it's good to have the knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I like yourself, Ursula, I love to have the knowledge. And if it doesn't sit with me, well, then it's not for me. It may come and be more comfortable in years to come. So I've learned not to stress over stuff that doesn't sit with me.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes stuff is just to try out and see if you like it or not. You know, and your soul will tell you if it's for you or not.
If it fits. Yeah, exactly.
If it fits.
And
exactly.
It's like suddenly finding the answer to that enormous question you didn't know you were asking.
Yeah.
So that's what I felt when I discovered mediumship.
Yeah.
I discovered mediumship. And I'm sure the lads in the spirit world must have been going, oh God, how many years we're waiting for you to catch up. But obviously the time wasn't right. And I feel sometimes people, and you would know this also with the people, sometimes people try to push before they're ready.
Yeah.
They try to run before they haven't even learned how to get out of the seat. And it's hard for us as teachers to say, now you have to do this and go slow. And they go, well, I want mediumship. And I'm going, well, you can't have that until you've done this. It's like you can't drive a car unless you've put petrol or diesel into it, or electricity if you have an electric car. You can't. So you can sit in the car all you want, but you're not going to make it move until you have the right tools, the right tool.
Yeah.
So it's that like understanding.
When you said before that you work as a psychic medium as well, just for the viewers, could you maybe just explain shortly the difference between psychic
Absolutely.
and mediumistic? I mean, I know it obviously, but
Well, psychic is all about the human person, the person with the body. It's all about them, their lives. You know, you could I can do body scans. I'm not God, by the way. I'm not miraculous or anything, but you can do body scans. This is stuff you can learn over the years. Body scans, so you can look at the vital organs, you can look at what's going on in the body, but then you need to push out because this body's living a life, and this body and this mind are having difficulties, whether it be financially or romantically or just with the self and all of that. So that's where their soul will say this is what they need to do. So it's connecting with that soul level. But obviously then because it isn't mediumship, even though we have our spirit tribe working with us, because I know my spirit tribe are there when I'm doing a sitting, because I will mix both mediumship and psychic. So psychic, Ursula, is all about you. So if I was tuning into your energy, blending my energy with yours. And then when it comes to mediumship, it is about our loved ones who have crossed over, who have left their human body, who've left the physical existence on this earth, but they're still alive, they're still living, they're still the same person, they're still the same personality. So the mediumship is, I know some mediums don't like to say proof. I'm proving, because you can't prove it, you know, scientifically, you can't prove it, but we're offering evidence that your gran is still alive and kicking and giving out those funny little statements. Or you may get a scent of her perfume, like hyacinths. Every time I look at you, I see hyacinths. So these lovely spring, I don't know what they are, I'm not a gardener, but these lovely colored flowers. So but I'm not tuning in, but I just see these lovely colors. So this is what a medium does. And some people, and it's understandable. This is now, I'm just saying people mistake mediumship and psychism. They do mistake it because they think it's one and the same. And that's why I work with both. Obviously the energies are different because the vibrational energies are different, but that's what you learn as you work more. I'm very comfortable with how I work with mine. So I just believe that psychism is needed. It's about the soul. It's about the existence in this human earth. And then so is mediumship. So it's just so nice to know our loved ones are going, hello,
exactly.
I'm watching you. I'm supporting you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we find that a lot here as well, that people don't actually know the difference. And so they call themselves mediums, whereas all they do is psychic work, which is great because it's needed and it's very important. But it's also important that you know the difference if you're working with the energy of the person or with the energy of spirit world. So it's lovely to hear you explain that. So I'm just, I know you're doing.
Well,
I know.
I was going to say that sometimes people feel or think or understand that our spirit people will tell us what to do or will help us find something. They don't do that. No. It's the universal law doesn't permit that, because we have to walk this journey of our human existence. And that's where the soul connection and the psychism assists, you see. That's where that is. However, our spirit people do support us, absolutely support us, and they can give us maybe heads up, but they can't predict and they can't tell us what to do. No. And that's the other misunderstanding I come across quite a lot. Well, what does Mammy think I need to do?
No.
But that's a difficult one, because Mammy here on this earth would have been the person who guided.
Exactly. Yeah. And they wouldn't tell you what to do. You have freedom of choice, and you have your own personal responsibility to the choices that you make. Really. So I know you're very you're working medium at the moment.
Excuse me.
I know you do.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Excuse me,
fine, bless
sorry.
you.
Thank you.
I know you do readings, you do workshops, you train. You have a beginners group at the moment, I think.
I have a beginners group at the moment, and they're lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm moving, next week will be the 4th week. And I said to them last week, I wish I was starting all over again, but I'm kind of glad I'm not. But I do wish I was starting all over again. Um, but then you can't put an old head on young shoulders, you see. But the excitement of discovery, that's what the excitement of discovery, the fascination with what's next. Oh,
Yeah.
what's next? And like yourself, because I know you research and you like things factual and you like it, to be understood. The day I stop being fascinated, and I've said this 1,000 times, is the day I'm going to go, well, but it's never in all the
Mm.
years and all through my life, it's never not fascinated me.
Yeah, it
Mm.
is. It is a huge exploration, I would say.
Yeah,
It's like you said before, when you think you know it, something else pops up and
I
you
know.
realize you know nothing.
Yeah, you go, oops.
Yeah.
Thought I knew that one. Thought I struggled through finding and discovering
Yeah,
that.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And
Yeah,
the
for
other thing,
sure.
never get cocky, never get arrogant, because they'll come in and they'll go,
No. No,
See it.
that's for sure. That's for sure. And I know you have a mediumship boot camp coming up with Tony Stockwell in March.
Yeah,
So,
Tony and
no.
Tony has come across to Ireland for quite a number of years, and obviously,
Mm,
I don't know if everybody knows him. If you don't look him up, he's just a wonderful, very warm, very kind-hearted man. Very
yeah, but it's
kind-hearted
it's
man.
it's also really good that you are joining him on this boot camp.
Yes, I'm joining him this
With
time
him
on it
and
and organizing. It's a mediumship boot camp, and it's for people who maybe haven't been working lots on their mediumship, or put
yeah,
it to the side, or just have lost confidence in their mediumship. And it's just to bring in new techniques and just ramp it up a bit. Just say,
yeah,
no, you can do it, and this is how you can do it better. Because
yeah.
we all get those thoughts, don't we? Myself included. Oh, I don't know if I can do this. Am I
Mm,
really thinking? So it's that confidence in your ability and your confidence in your spirit, people,
yeah.
to exercise your mediumship. So that's coming up on the 13th and 14th of March.
We'll
But
put them. I will put the information below the YouTube
great.
video because
Yeah.
it's wonderful talking to you, but time is sort of running away with us.
Well,
And
before we
I really want
finish,
to know what your plans for the future. What the
oh,
Where
well,
will we see you in the next coming years, or maybe just
uh,
this year because we can't really predict anything at the moment. But
well, we're not allowed to predict because of free will, although we do. We do it.
Well,
Well, at the moment, I am loving my spiritual service. I've started that on a Saturday afternoon, 5 p.m. Irish time.
yeah.
It's needed from Ireland. There's a lot of Irish mediums, so that's going to continue for a while. I'm doing my private consultations on Zoom, which is lovely, because years ago I learned about mediumship and spirituality online, so I have no difficulty in jumping
Oh, yeah.
backwards and
Oh,
forwards.
good. Yeah.
So with getting rubber stamped by the SNU for the teaching is the next journey, and that has been stymied by the COVID, much like my hair. You just have to go with it. You just have
Yeah.
to wait till the time's right. So hopefully that will be completed by the end of this year. I was due to go to America, and that has unhappened yet again. So there'll be
Mm.
online, and that's with Joe Sheil. So there's a few other collaborations coming up, because I can do it by myself. Honest, I can. I've the training, but I love collaboration, and I
Mm.
love what you're doing. Is you're bringing in people and chatting to them, so people know about them. And I do that on. I have a live on Facebook every month. I don't charge for the Facebook and my weekly oracle cards, but I do ask
Hmm.
for donations for a chosen
Yeah.
charity. I choose that every month. So this, again, trying to get the Irish mediums a voice online, but
Hmm.
I'm not restricted by Irish, so I have a lot of people working for me and working with me
Yeah.
on my working for me. Come here, I'm your boss. No, it's not like that. At the spiritual service. So hopefully, because I really this COVID, this year's not going to really start till September, and when it starts in September, sure, it's nearly over then. So it's hard to plan. So,
Yeah.
but because people have got used to online, there'll be a lot of online stuff.
Yeah.
So and it just comes. Oh, and by the way, with Jason, Ursula's partner, he and I think are going to try organize a mediumship event as well. So stuff like that. We're going to be organizing mediumship events for just for people to attend. It'd be a low cost, so and again, that's the wonder of the internet, because you don't have those external costs, you just have a cost, but it'll be a low cost for charity driven. These are all charity driven. So
that's all great, and it's lovely that you're doing so much for charity and for the community, especially the spiritual service. I was was it
I
last
love the
I was
spiritual
lucky enough
service.
to attend the one you did with Jason, and it's so nice to be giving something back to people as well, and
But
I know.
I see it as sharing as opposed and giving back, yes, but I see it as sharing. My heart says, but let me show you how wonderful this is. That's my personal opinion, but if you find it to be wonderful too, it's here. So yeah,
that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thought to leave our viewers with, and I thank you very much for joining me, and I wish you all good, and I hope to see you again live sometime.
Yes.
Whether it's
I
here in
think
Germany or in Ireland, but who
once
knows?
we're able to fly, we'll be haunting each other in the physical.
And I hope we've inspired maybe some of you people out there to go and have a look into mediumship and to see if it is for you or not. Because I was reluctant for a long time, but I do find it to be very fascinating and a very much unexplored new world that is opening up to you. So I will put all the links to Susan's website,
Thank you, Ursula,
and stuff in the section underneath the YouTube. So thank you all for now, and thank you again, Susan, and see you next time.
Cheerio.